everyone, in this video we will cover the current affairs. Before we move ahead, let me inform you that these questions are part of our daily 20 MCQ series in GK Today's Academy Android application. So if you are looking for the text version of these questions and their explanations along with the interactive quiz, you may consider joining our daily 20 MCQ series in Academy Android application. So in this app course you get daily 20 MCQs, a fortnightly quiz, a monthly revision document and also category wise revision ebooks which are optimized for reading on your mobile itself. Apart from it, you are also able to access all archives of questions from January 2020 onwards. Please check our Telegram channel. The link is given in the description box. You can subscribe to it if you find it relevant. For hard copy books, you can visit our website gktbooks.com. Okay. So now without wasting any further time, let's get started.
Good morning everyone. Welcome back to GK Today. And today we'll be discussing most important MCQs for 17th and 18th of October 2021. Starting with very first question. The State Election Commission of which state is set to conduct India's first dry run for voting through smartphone? So the State Election Commission of Telangana is about to conduct a dry run of the voting using their smartphones. And this trial has got approval from the state government. So basically this would be running in Khammam district on 20th of October 2021 and it would be the country's first e-voting process using smart mobile phones. Fine. Now in the previous lecture we have seen that Bathu Kamma is a floral festival that is celebrated mainly in Telangana and in some parts of Andhra Pradesh. And recently it was celebrated there for total of 9 days. Okay. Then 2-3 months back, I think in the month of July, Rudreswara temple, which is also called as Ramappa temple, that is located at Palampet in Mulugu district in the state of Telangana, has been inscribed on UNESCO's World Heritage List. Do remember that this particular temple was built during the reign of Kakatiyas. Then apart from it, Flipkart had partnered with the Telangana government. Why? To lead Medicines from the Sky project for the drone deliveries of medical supplies to the remote areas in the state of Telangana. Okay. Also the first city in Telangana to receive Water Plus certificate is Hyderabad, which is actually the second Water Plus city and which is the first Water Plus city in India. It is the cleanest city, Indore. So do remember that Andhra Pradesh is the only state in the country to have more than one Water Plus city. Okay. Question number 2. Which racing driver won the Turkish Grand Prix 2021? So recently, Valtteri Bottas has won the Turkish Grand Prix 2021 and in the same event, Max Verstappen occupied the second place and Sergio Perez was at the third position. Okay. Then Charles Leclerc was at 4th and Lewis Hamilton was at 5th place. Do remember that Valtteri, who is 32-year-old, has won 10 races from 2017 till 2021. Fine. Now apart from it, the Indian professional footballer and the captain of Indian national football team, Sunil Chhetri, is in news these days. Why? Because he has recently scored his 77th international goal in a match against Nepal at the SAFF Championships, which was held in Malé. So with this, he has equalized the goal table of Pelé, who is actually the former legendary Brazilian footballer, and this record was made by him in his 123rd match for India. Fine. Now a few days back we have seen that the Indian tennis ace Sania Mirza and her Chinese partner Zhang Shui won the women's doubles title at the Ostrava Open that was held in Czech Republic. Okay. Then apart from it, Anshu Malik has become the first Indian women wrestler to reach the final of 2021 World Wrestling Championship. And apart from all these things, Lewis Hamilton has become the first ever F1 driver who reached to his 100 wins after finishing at first in the Russian Grand Prix, and he is a 7-time world champion, and he overtook the long-time race leader Lando Norris. Okay. Question number 3. When is the World Day Against the Death Penalty observed every year? So 10th of October marks the World Day Against the Death Penalty, and this year the theme is focused on safeguarding health and rights of women and girls around the world. Actually, according to the Amnesty International's 2020 death penalty report, more than 2/3 of the world has now abolished the death penalty in law or practice, and as many as 108 countries have completely abolished the death penalty for all crimes. So as per the report, at least 483 people were known to have been executed in the year 2020. Okay. Now apart from it, the International Day of the Girl Child is observed annually on 11th of October to highlight the gender equality impacts. And this year, the United Nations urges the world to bridge the gender digital divide existing in diverse skills and jobs, and also it has highlighted on the gender digital divide in connectivity, devices, use, skills and jobs. Okay. Now apart from it, 9th of October is observed in India as International Foreign Services Day, because on this day in the year 1946, Indian Foreign Service was established for the purpose of India's diplomatic and commercial representation in overseas nations. So this day is being observed since 2011 to recognize the important role played by IFS officers. Okay. Then also every year on 10th of October, we observe World Mental Health Day, and this day is celebrated to raise awareness of the mental health issues and mobilize support in this regard. This year theme was Mental Health Care for All, Let's Make It a Reality. And now you have to tell me, when do we observe World Habitat Day and also the World Cotton Day? Please write in the comments. Question number 4. Which Indian state has launched a campaign called Mission Kavach Kundal? So recently Maharashtra Health Minister Rajesh Tope recently announced Mission Kavach Kundal from 8th to 14th of October to carry out 15 lakh vaccinations daily. So the state has a target to vaccinate 9.15 crore people, out of which 6 crore people have taken the first dose of the vaccine and 2.5 crore people have taken both the doses of vaccine. Hence about 65% of the eligible population have taken the first dose, while 30% have taken their second dose as well. Okay. Now apart from it, recently the Union Minister of Road Transport and Highways, Mr. Nitin Gadkari, has announced that the Delhi-Mumbai Express Highway is being constructed as the world's largest highway, and the project is expected to be completed by March 2023. Then 2-3 months back, we have seen that a consignment of exotic dragon fruit has been exported to Dubai after sourcing it from the farmers of Tadasar village in Sangli district of Maharashtra. Already we have talked about a lot of GI products recently. So the first consignment of GI tagged sweet dish Mihi Dana from West Bengal has been exported to the country, Bahrain. Then we have seen that 2 products from Kerala have got the GI tag, Edayur chili and Kuttiyatur mango. Also, Jammu Kashmir got GI tag for its Gakki mushrooms. Then Shahi Lychee from Bihar has been exported to the country, UK. Jardalu mangoes from Bihar has also been exported to UK, and Jalgaon banana, which belongs to Maharashtra, has been exported to the country Dubai. And yes, the GI certified Madurai jasmine was exported to US and UAE, and this product belongs to Tamil Nadu. So these are some of the important GI certified products. Okay. Question number 5. Where is the Center for Development of Telematics, that is CDOT, headquartered? First of all, this is an Indian government-owned telecommunications technology development center and it is headquartered at New Delhi. Now why it is in news? Because CDOT has been asked to start working on 6G technologies, which is said to be 50 times faster than 5G and other futuristic technologies. So the Union Telecom Secretary recently inaugurated CDOT's Quantum Communication Lab and launched the indigenously developed Quantum Key Distribution Solutions. Okay. Now apart from it, the US-India Business Council Summit was held recently in New Delhi, in which India and USA held bilateral talks during the visit of the Deputy Secretary of State Wendy R. Sherman of Delhi. Okay. Now already we have seen that the Delhi-based Environment Organization LIFE has received the 2021 Right Livelihood Award, and the term LIFE stands for Legal Initiative for Forest and Environment. Then also we have seen that the Delhi government has identified 150 pollution hotspots in the city for strict monitoring and control measures, and also government has launched an advanced Green War Room and green application that will look into the problems pertaining to kind of pollution throughout the winter. Okay. Also, the government of Delhi has recently launched a mobile application named as Dekho Meri Delhi, and this has been designed and built by the tourism department of the Delhi government, and the app is designed to act as a one-stop solution for all tourism related information there in Delhi. Okay. Question number 6. Power Ministry has set a revised policy to use which product in coal burning thermal power plants? So the Union Power Ministry has set a revised policy to use biomass pellets in the coal burning thermal power plants. So this guideline encourages the use of agricultural waste which is otherwise burned by the farmers, causing air pollution. And the decision now mandates 3 categories of thermal power plants to use a 5% blend of biomass pellets along with coal. And this policy will come into force in October 2022. Now can you tell me what is the proposed financial outlay for Pradhan Mantri Gati Shakti Master Plan? Actually, the PM on 75th Independence Day speech had announced for PM Gati Shakti Master Plan and a total financial outlay of 100 lakh crore rupees, aiming for holistic infrastructure development. So the scheme is proposed to offer model connectivity to more than 1,000 industrial clusters, and it would include the projects under existing schemes like Bharatmala, Sagarmala, Udan, etc. Okay. Now apart from it, recently Prime Minister Narendra Modi has launched SBMU 2.0, means Swachh Bharat Mission Urban, and Amrut 2.0, means Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation. So actually SBM envisions to make all the cities garbage free and ensure grey and black water management in all the cities, and the outlay for this project is 1.41 lakh crore rupees. While Amrut aims to provide 100% coverage of water supply to all the households in around 4,700 urban local bodies and 100% coverage of sewage in 500 Amrut cities. Okay. Question number 7. The Custodian of Trust is an upcoming book written by which famous banker? So Mr. Rajneesh Kumar, who is the former chairman of SBI, is set to release his book on 18th of October, and the book is to be published by Penguin Random House India. So this book basically describes his journey as a banker from being a probationary officer in SBI to becoming its chairman in the year 2017. And the book also captures various changes he witnessed in India's banking sector during his career. Okay. Now apart from it, Indian-born Dr. Abdul Qadir Khan, also known as father of Pakistan's atomic weapons program, died recently in Pakistan. So he was born in the year 1936 in Bhopal and moved to Pakistan during the 1947 partition of India and Pakistan. Okay. Then apart from it, the conservative Chancellor of Austria, Sebastian Kurz, has stepped down from the post on allegations and suspicion of corruption. And this move has been made by Sebastian 3 days before a special sitting of the country's parliament, in which the members were preparing to back a motion of no confidence, which might have forced him out of the post. Okay. Then already we have seen that Mr. E.R. Sheikh has become the first Director General of Ordnance Directorate. Then Mr. Alok Sahai has been appointed as Secretary General of Indian Steel Association. Also, NSDL has appointed Padmaja Chundru as MD and CEO. And BC Patnaik takes charge as MD of LIC. Now you have to tell me who is to head the Starlink satellite broadband venture in India. Please write in the comments. Question number 8. Karupur Kalamkari paintings and wood carvings of Kallakurichi, which have received the GI tags, belong to which state? So both the products belong to the state of Tamil Nadu, and recently they have got the GI tag. So as we know that GI tag is awarded to the products of specific geographical origin, and it adds significance to the product, and it is regulated under the Geographical Indications Registration administered by the Geographical Indication of Goods Registration and Protection Act of 1999. Okay. Now few days back we have seen that Tamil Nadu Assembly has passed a bill that seeks a permanent exemption to the state from NEET, and now students would get admissions to undergraduate medical degree courses based on class 12 mark sheet, just like it used to happen before NEET was implemented. Also, Tamil Nadu government has decided to commemorate death anniversary of Subramanya Bharati as Mahakavi Day on 11th of September. And Tamil Nadu government has also decided to celebrate every year the birth anniversary of E.V. Ramasamy Periyar, who was the reformist leader there, as Social Justice Day on 17th of September. Also, Tamil Nadu has announced to set up India's first dugong conservation reserve to protect this endangered marine mammal. Question number 9. Which organization, in association with the Oxford Poverty and Human Development, releases the Global Multidimensional Poverty Index? So the UNDP, that is United Nations Development Programme, and the Oxford Poverty and Human Development have released the Global Multidimensional Poverty Index for the year 2021, and this year tagline was Unmasking Disparities by Ethnicity, Caste and Gender. So the index measures poverty by considering various deprivations experienced by the people across the globe, and the 2021 report has stressed that the disparities in poverty among ethnic groups are very high in many countries. Okay. Now apart from it, the UNHRC, means United Nations Human Rights Council, has passed a resolution that recognizes access to a clean and healthy environment as a fundamental right, and this is seen as a milestone step to fight the climate change. So this resolution in this regard was introduced by Costa Rica, Maldives, Morocco, Slovenia and Switzerland, and further it was passed with 43 votes in favor and 4 abstentions from Russia, India, China and Japan. Okay. Now apart from it, the Indian Railway has launched 2 long-haul freight trains named as Trishul and Garuda, which are multiple times longer than the normal trains, and Trishul is run by the South Central Railway and comprises of 177 wagons. Now coming to last question, which public sector bank has launched a campaign named as 6S campaign? So the Punjab National Bank, which is the country's second largest public sector bank, has launched this 6S campaign, and it includes various type of schemes such as Samruddhi, Sampark, Shikhar, Sankalp, Swagat and Swabhiman. So these are the 6 S's. And the objective is to drive awareness campaign for development of financial services in the country. So basically it aims to create awareness on credit growth, social security schemes and drive digital banking push, especially credit outreach for the agricultural sector. Okay. Now apart from it, DBS Bank has launched real-time online tracking for cross-border collections for businesses in India in partnership with Swift Global Payments Innovation. So DBS is the first bank in India and in Asia Pacific to offer this service to the clients, which is especially to benefit close to 4,000 corporates and small business clients in India. Also, a few days back, Paytm has announced that its wholly owned subsidiary, Paytm Money, is launching a wealth and investment advisory marketplace on its platform to offer curated advisory services and the products to the retail investors. So for this purpose, Paytm Money has partnered with startup Wealth Desk to offer investment portfolios called Wealth Baskets as the first step to build the advisory ecosystem. Okay. Now let's start with today's quiz. Here on the slide you can see 5 questions which have been taken from the past 2-3 days current affairs. Pause the video and try to solve each of these questions. And at the end of the lecture, do not forget to share your scores in the comment section. So please be honest and do not cheat with yourself. So that's it for today. I hope you have liked the session. These were the important news and events from today, and we will meet again tomorrow with some more important current affairs. Till then, stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, and please do not forget to subscribe to GK Today. With this, Minu Hatsana signing off.